Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the proper way of how you should start your journey on Tower Fantasy. Now I feel like this isn't something that's covered quite enough, and it's super important, especially for you new wonders who are just starting the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about these small issues. So when you start the game, you're going to be introduced with this beautiful scenic screen. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see this black box. You're going to click on that and go ahead and select your region. For me, North America. And then under your region, you're going to select your server. Now, something that isn't talked about a whole lot when it comes to these servers is you can only have one account per server, which meaning that you can only play with people in your server. So like, for example, if you have a friend that joined, let's say, Silver Brigade, and you joined Nightfall, you guys would not be able to play together because it's two different servers. I don't know why they have the system set up like this, but there's not really much we can do about it. It is what it is. So just make sure you guys, whoever friend, family you're trying to play with, both select the same server, and you go ahead and tell them that, because I failed to do so with my friends, and yeah, let's just say they had to restart to play. So for me, I'm on Solaris. If you guys want to come join the Solaris gang, feel free. We're on this almost every day, so we could have some fun, whatever. Upon selecting your server, you're going to go ahead and start your game, and you're going to be introduced with the starting game. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and just go straight in, and I'm going to show you a few things that you quite won't be able to do when you start out, but it's good to know. That way you can do these things properly and focus on the right things when you do get to the point of being able to do these things. So obviously we're loaded in now, and the first thing I want to talk about is under your server, you'll see something up in the top left here called Channel. You click on that, and what this is, essentially, it's like contacting an operator back in the day. You have to contract the operator for them to get you to point A to point B over the phone, right? That's kind of what this is. It's just different lines set up through your server. So, for example, if I'm on server 6 and I have a buddy on server 5, we can still play together on like game modes, but on the map as a whole, the open world map, you will not be able to play together or see each other in the open world. So you just cannot interact with each other in the open world if you are on two different lines. So make sure y'all are set up in the same line. It does reset every 30 minutes if you do change it, so keep that in mind. Another thing that I want to talk about is super important. I'm going to try to make this as quick and easy as I can without overloading your brains. So if you're a continuous player of playing like Genshin or other gacha games, y'all know that they have a banner system set up for pulling items to getting characters and weapons and stuff, right? Note, this has that system, but there are no weapon banner pulls. So if you're used to, like Genshin, having a weapon banner pull and then a character banner pull, you do not have to worry about that. You get both in the same banner. So starting off, speaking of banners, we have two standard banners up here. This one we don't need to worry about too much. It's not really something we need to talk about. But the first one, you're going to look and it's going to say something like this, Gold Nucleus. Now you're going to get about 200 of these starting out, like just playing through pretty much the first area, which is a lot, excuse me. And these are ratioed. So as you see here, guaranteed SR or SSR every 10 orders, which keep in mind, an SSR is practically legendary and an epic is the SR. So one has a higher pull rate than the other. So you're more likely to get an SR over an SSR. But after 80 pulls, you are guaranteed a SSR. And that might not seem like a whole lot, but keep in mind you're going to get like 200 pulls through like the first area. So you're going to at least going to get 2 free SSRs in completing the first area, which is pretty nice. And then we have something called Black Nuclei. It says right here. These are unratioed packs. These you don't need to worry about too much. You're going to get a crap ton of these. I say crap ton, I mean like thousands within the first area. Um, it's unreal how much you get. Like this game is free to play friendly. Um, I do not recommend spending money starting out just to see if you like the game or not, but it is free to play friendly. I'm guilty, free to play. I've only spent like $2, so I consider myself free to play. Um, and I have a bunch of good stuff. But going into like the more complicated stuff, and this is kind of what I want to stress a bit. So we have right now 3 limited banners, and limited banners are just exactly what they sound like. They're only here for a certain amount of days, but they're pretty much standard banners, just with one added character and weapon as a whole that you can pull. Um, Now, this is something you want to focus on a lot because a lot of new players will end up spending their dark crystals, which are right here, which is pretty much like the premium currency of the game. It's kind of like V-Bucks from Fortnite or Robux from Roblox, stuff like that, right? Um, so these in particular, you want to spend only on red nuclei. And that is something you won't be able to do right off the start. But if we look here and go to shop, which you will unlock pretty early on, you can see you can purchase a whole bunch of stuff. Just different tabs. You can purchase things with dark crystals, but only spend it on red nuclei because later on in the game, when you get to end game, or in game, quote unquote, end game right now, right? Um, these things are going to be almost non-existent. You're going to get very little compared to starting out, and you're also going to want to focus more on your CS, your combat status, um, and pretty much your gear, just everything as a whole about your kit and what you're playing, um, because you're going to get very far behind, especially being a free-to-play player. Um, you're going to get really far behind compared to other people. So definitely start focusing on this while you can. And the last thing that I want to talk about is your gear. Um, yeah, gear is a weird thing, everybody. It's super weird. Um, so with gear, of course, you have uh, common, blue, which would be rare. Um, super rare or SR, which would be epic, and then SSR gear, which you see right here. I have all SSR. Um, this is something you have to grind quite a bit for, um, just because like you have to work your way up, and that's what I'm saying. Like combat status is kind of like key here, as you see, 51,000. Um, which in order to get things unlocked, you have to be certain levels. So yeah, you do have to worry about your levels, your wonder level. Um, but the more you focus on your CS and building up gear, building up your weapons, you know, stuff like that, you are going to have a lot easier of a time when you get to those higher level things because you're already going to have your combat status built up. Um, so make sure you guys are focusing on combat status, which primarily, if you want my opinion, the things that matter are definitely leveling up your weapons, grinding the gear for your weapons, and getting those high as you can, which, again, those will be locked behind level cap. So, like, level cap based off storyline. Um, and also doing things that earn you gear, which we could go into. For example, we go to challenges, right? You have things that get you gear, like, for example, we have these things right here, Frontier Clash, which can get you a lot of gear. You have things like raids, which are practically non-existent now these days. No one plays them, which is kind of sad, because they're really fun. But you won't have to worry about raids till later on. You have a bunch of things, like just doing daily things, like these right here, get your gear leveled up, and also get you like these crystal dust things, which in turn you can use to get gear, as you see here. So orange would be SSR rarity, get epic gear, blue gear, and stuff like that, right? So definitely focus on those things. They're super, super important. Last thing here, also kind of tying in to with gear. Not necessarily gets up your combat status, but we want to talk about gifting, or make it simpler terms, awakening. This is something you're definitely not going to have to worry about until you get to like the second area, quote unquote second area. But your awakening points will give you different buffs, such as, like, for example, I have Samir here. I have her all the way done, but we have all the way to 4,000 awakening points, and that takes quite a while. But it says here, grants 1 stack of concentration for every 4 seconds when Samir receives no damage. Each stack increases damage dealt by 3% and stacks up to 4 times. After being hit, Samir loses 1 stack of concentration up to 1 stack per second. Now, again, this is really, really good because it gives you damage increases, buffs. You get a whole bunch of buffs for awakening. And when you get to last awakening, it's going to be the first awakening right here. But it's going to be a bigger buff that you're going to get from her awakening. So just focus on things like that. And how you get awakening points is not hard. Essentially, when you do go to awakening, you're going to have a gifting tab, which are going to be like, for example, we'll go to backpack here. We're going to have things that you can gift. Oh, I don't have any right now. That's a problem. But essentially, it'll be a gift box. We'll just make this simple. We'll go over to missionary, and like this, gift. You have Aspera special gift, a fine gift, things like that. You just buy these, and then you open a present pretty much and select the item you want. Each character is going to have certain things on it that they prefer. So, like, maybe like rare items, figurines, metal items, stuff like that. You want to look at their awakening and what they prefer. Like Samir here, she prefers games and toys. So you would want to grab a gift out of the present for games and toys. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The only thing I think of focusing on that's important is definitely leveling up your vehicles. But that's not really a big deal. You do get free dark crystals from leveling up, reaching several certain levels. But yeah, that'll pretty much sum it up. So if you're a new player, definitely make sure that you are using these things when you're starting, because they will guarantee that you keep up with the game state along the way and across your journey. Without further ado, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment down below on who you main, what character, yeah, what your CS is, anything. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.